It's midnight and you are tuned in to Nightline with me, Nadia Azmi. The top stories. Almina plane crash. No evidence of flight crew being incapacitated. And Anwar may address Zahid's DNAA in Parliament. Good morning. The preliminary report on the plane crash near Bandar Almina in Shah Alam, Selangor last month has found no evidence of incapacitation or physiological factors that affected the pilot's performance as the cause of the fatal accident. In light of this, the Transport Ministry MOT said the cause of the Beechcraft Premier 1 model 390 plane crash will only be revealed in the final full report. According to the 60-page initial report released on the ministry's website on Friday, the Transport Ministry noted that medical causes could be ruled out as both pilots were well rested before the flight and had no known medical conditions that could pose significant hazards based on available history and physical examinations. However, it also noted initial analysis of the recovered cockpit voice recording has provided critical leads to uncovering the cause of the incident with a focus on the aircraft flight control systems, and that the statement of facts in the report must be regarded as tentative and is subject to alteration or correction if additional evidence becomes available. Based on preliminary findings of the investigation, pilot in command was licensed and qualified for the flight in accordance with existing regulations. Another finding said there was no evidence of foreign object ingestion, bird feathers or matter to any of the plane's engine components. The report also stated that the aircraft had a valid certificate of airworthiness and had been maintained in compliance with the regulations. The incident also happened in daytime with reported clear visibility and fine meteorological conditions. Initial investigations also showed that the aircraft had veered to the right from its flight path before the crash. It also found that the accident was not survivable due to the magnitude of the deceleration force and the post-crash fire. In a statement following the release of the preliminary report, the MOT said the final report of the investigation will be completed no later than August next year, in accordance with the Convention on International Civil Aviation ICAO Annex 13, which allows for a 12-month period to finalize the document following the accident. On August 17th, the 6-seater business jet was flying from Langkawi to Sultan Abdul Aziz Airport in Subang and had been cleared to land at 2:48 p.m. but crashed onto the Guthrie Corridor Expressway near the Almina township 2 minutes later. The tragedy claimed 10 lives, including 8 passengers and crew on board the aircraft and 2 road users. Meanwhile, a family member of an Almina crash victim has appealed to the MOT to allow family members to listen to the aircraft's cockpit voice recording CVR. Nurul Komar, who is the youngest brother of the late Idris Abdul Talib, said the preliminary report released on Friday mostly contained technical information about the crash. He said all of the victims' next of kins were hoping for some information about the CVR to learn more about the final moments before the air crash. However, there was none, despite the transcripts having been completed. The report released by the Ministry's Air Accident Investigation Bureau, AAIB, had stated that the last 30 minutes of the CVR would be included in the final report, which is expected to be released next August. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has not ruled out the possibility of answering queries with regards to the discharge not amounting to an acquittal or DNAA granted to Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi in Parliament.
Kesalahan sebagai Perdana Menteri memberikan penjelasan mengenai kes DNAA, mungkin Datuk Seri akan memberikan kenyataan di Parlimen.
Mungkin, insyaAllah.
The debate on the 12 Malaysia Plan 12 MP midterm review in the Dewan Rakyat is scheduled to resume on Monday. On September 4th, Zahid was granted a discharge not amounting to acquittal DNAA by the High Court in relation to Yayasan Akal Budi funds following an application by the Attorney General's chambers to halt the court proceedings. Among other things, the move was taken to enable the Attorney General and related agencies to carry out investigations on new evidence and developments regarding to the case. Malaysians have been urged to enliven the spirit of Malaysia Day by celebrating it wherever they are, not only to foster the spirit of patriotism, but also strengthen unity in this country. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said although the event will be held in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysians in the peninsula are obliged to celebrate the day with the same spirit as the people in Sabah and Sarawak.
Semangat patriotik seperti inilah yang harus kita lakukan dan terjemahkan dalam bentuk untuk memperlihatkan komitmen kita bagi mengisi kemerdekaan di negara ini.
Zahid said this when closing the Rural and Regional Development Ministry's Kembara Merdeka Desa Madani program in Putrajaya on Friday. He also said the ministry would hold a convoy every year to instill the patriotic spirit among its staff and Malaysians, especially those living in rural areas, in conjunction with the National Month celebration. In the bustling world of TikTok, Chin Pui Ting stands out. This young influencer is weaving a story of culture, fashion and resilience. FMT's Natasha Abused brings you her story.
You've likely scrolled past her on your TikTok feed. Chin Pui Ting, or Puts to her fans, on the popular social media platform has been winning the hearts of Malaysians one fabulous outfit at a time. Boasting more than 600,000 followers, this TikTok sensation regularly turns heads by flaunting different traditional outfits from all across the country. But don't let her current success fool you. Their journey hasn't been a cakewalk. Chin had to sideline her dream of pursuing fashion studies in Germany after her mother was diagnosed with cancer.
I took a step back to rethink what I want to do, and at the same time, because I was streaming on Twitch and Facebook, they kind of earned me quite a substantial amount of money, and at the same time I also started doing TikToks and working part-time at this tech company.
Little did she know that her penchant for streaming would catapult her to stardom and offer a viable way to support her family.
Ever since I was a kid, I always liked the concept of dressing up. So that's why I got into cosplay. That's why I got into kind of wearing weird fashion throughout the years. Growing up, I was this eccentric kid that liked to wear different stuff. So I would say that, yeah, my content right now is really much linked to my love for dressing up.
Chin spends days doing research to accurately represent each traditional outfit from Malaysia's rich culture. Her videos do not just have visual appeal. Chin works hard to educate her viewers on the significance of each garment and the history behind it.
I had this one comment, someone actually said that when I dressed up as the Malacca outfit, it actually explained to them, because I actually explained about the outfit, the background and the history, and they had this whole moment of truth kind of thing, because they saw their mom in an old wedding photo wearing the exact same thing, and they didn't know what each thing represented, and because I explained to it, they felt really touched by it. And
Chin hopes Malaysians of all races will embrace the country's rich cultural heritage.
Kepada warga negara Malaysia, I hope that you celebrate Malaysia Day with glory and pride, because you are from this country. There is no other country as good as what we have here. We have a community, we have great culture, great food. It is important that you remember that, as much as this country provides for you, you should at least provide your country with a little bit of patriotism in the spirit of Hari Malaysia. Just celebrate with joy and pride whatever beautiful stuff we have in this country.
Natasha Abused, FMT for Nightline.
Now, here is an example of how the spirit of muhibah is very much alive and kicking in Malaysia. Meet the Malay mother and daughter who are as fluent in Mandarin as they are in their mother tongue. FMT's Dinesh Kumar has this special Malaysia Day story.
Assalamualaikum, 大家好，我的名字叫 Arba'ah binti Ali， 我家里的人都是叫我 Sham， 这是我女儿。Hello， 大家好，我是法蒂玛诺亚。
Listening to Arba'ah Ali or Sham and her 15-year-old daughter Fatima Nuria Muhammad Noor Kasijan speak Mandarin is fascinating, and it reflects the beauty of multicultural Malaysia. especially when Sham reveals that they even converse in Mandarin at home.
去外面啊，去外面吃。妈妈，你不是煮饭了没？没有，不要一直吃我的。
Sham, who was educated in a Chinese school, recalls experiencing the Malaysian spirit of Muhibah there, although she was the only Malay girl in her class.
Di sekolah dulu, cikgu saya tak pandang pada warna. Kalau tak, saya takkan jadi macam ni. Because dia memang bagi sokongan dan galakkan sepenuh-penuhnya kepada saya. And also kawan-kawan Cina, saya pun semua, when I started to make friends with them, they are very kind to me.
It was no surprise then that later in life, Sham and her husband sent Fatima to a Chinese school. According to the duo, speaking Mandarin has been beneficial, and for Sham, it was an advantage when she applied for jobs. For Fatima, a gifted singer, speaking Mandarin has opened doors for her to join talent events overseas, such as Let's Sing Kids in China and Jungle Voice 2 in Taiwan.
你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分，我的情不变，我的爱不变，月亮代表我的心。
Fun fact, Sham's sons speak a little Mandarin too. Being such a unique Malaysian family, the mother and daughter share what unity means to them.
Malay ke, Chinese ke, Indian ke, we have to unite together untuk Malaysia yang akan datang, untuk kita sama-sama maju dan untuk kita menjalani kehidupan yang aman dan bahagia untuk Malaysia. Kita tak boleh berpecah belah sebab bersatu teguh bercerai roboh.
祝大家马来西亚日快乐！
Dinesh Kumar Maganathan, FMT Lifestyle for Nightline.
This week on Money Matters, the Environmental Social Governance ESG framework, what trends are seen in ESG investing, how to communicate ESG efforts to gain consumer trust and loyalty, what's the ESG impact on a company's financial performance. Join us with ESG Association President Chia Kok Hung this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton.
The Malacca government continues its strategic partnership with tourism and media industry players to make Visit Malacca Year 2024 VMY 2024 successful. This includes appointing Media Prima Berhad MPB as the official media partner to promote the VMY 2024 campaign, which aims to attract 18.7 million tourists to the state next year. Malacca Chief Minister Datuk Seri Abdul Rauf Yusof said the appointment was in recognition of MPB as the country's largest and most influential media conglomerate company based on the group's experience and expertise, as well as its integrated operations across various media platforms, including digital advertising.
Peribadi mempunyai rangkaian above and below the line yang cukup baiklah. Dia ada media elektronik, media cetak, termasuk radio yang akan memberikan ruang yang luas dalam mempromosikan Tahun Melawat Melaka.
He said this to reporters after witnessing the signing ceremony of the cooperation agreement on the VMY 2024 promotion program between the state government and MPB. Also present to witness the signing ceremony was MPB Group Chairman Datuk Seri Syed Hussein Al-Junaid. The state government was represented by the State Secretary Datuk Zahid Johari and the State Tourism, Heritage, Arts and Culture Exco Datuk Abdul Razak Abdul Rahman, while MPB was represented by Media Prima Omnia Sendran Berhad, Chief Operating Officer Datuk Muhammad Effendi Omar, and Media Prima Television Network's News and Current Affairs Deputy Group Editor Azhari Muhyiddin. Abdul Rauf said 70 events, including 32 major tourism events, are being organised to make VMY 2024 more exciting. Among the events slated to take place next year are Pesta Gendang Nusantara, freshwater fish angling and cooking competition, Malacca International Muay Thai Tournament, Malacca Dutch Week and Malacca Motorsport Carnival. Meanwhile, Muhammad Effendi said MPB was grateful to the Malacca government for trusting the media company and the group will use all available platforms to help make VMY 2024 a success.
Pelbagai plan telah kita rancang bersama dengan Kerajaan Negeri Melaka untuk memastikan promosi yang akan kita jalankan bersama Kerajaan Negeri Melaka ini akan dibuat secara menyeluruh dan dapat dinikmati oleh di segenap pelosok masyarakat di Malaysia ini.
8 agencies call for end to mass graves after Libya floods. News from the foreign front after this breather. The World Health Organization (WHO) and other aid groups on Friday called on authorities in Libya to stop burying flood victims in mass graves. In a joint statement sent out by the UN Health Agency with the International Committee of the Red Cross and the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, 8 agencies urged for better managed burials in well-demarcated and documented individual graves, saying that hasty burials can lead to long-lasting mental distress for family members, as well as social and legal problems. It added that the bodies of victims of trauma from natural disasters almost never pose a health threat, saying the exception was when they were in or near freshwater supplies, since bodies may leak feces. The statement came after a UN report showed that more than 1,000 people had so far been buried in that manner since the country was hit by floods. Thailand's Pita Limjaroenrat has resigned as leader of the Progressive Move Forward Party MFP to make way for his successor to take up the post of opposition leader. Pita conveyed his resignation message via his Facebook page on Friday. He, however, said he would remain closely involved in the party. MFP won the most seats at Thailand's elections in May, but Pita was prevented from becoming Prime Minister by Conservative blocs in Parliament. In July, he was suspended as a Member of Parliament over his ownership of shares in a now-defunct media company. Under the Thai constitution, MPs are prohibited from owning media shares. Observers have speculated that Chaitawat Tulaton, the party Secretary-General, is the likely successor to Pita. After this breather, Malaysian Malaysia Cup. Sabah FC were held to a 2-2 draw against Perak FC in the first leg of the Malaysia Cup quarterfinals on Friday night. At the Likas Stadium, Sabah took the lead just 4 minutes into the game via Darren Lock before Luciano Guecochea levelled the score 6 minutes later. The Rhinos scored another goal in the 46th minute through Ramon Macado's header, but Perak once again managed to equalise 9 minutes later thanks to one Zach Haikal. On to badminton. Men's singles Ng Zeyong and mixed pair Goh Soon Huat Siobhan Lai capped a brilliant day for Malaysia as they made it 4 representatives in Saturday's semi-finals at the Hong Kong Open. World number 20 Zeyong was in his element as he brushed aside Denmark's Magnus Johannesson 21-18, 21-12 to reach the second Super 500 semi-final of his career. Standing between him and a maiden final on the World Tour is Indonesia's Jonathan Christie, the world number 6 and last week's China Open semi-finalist. In the women's singles, world number 34 Goh Jin-wei pulled off one of her career's biggest wins when she upset world number 9 Han Yu of China to reach the semi-finals on Friday. Jin-wei won 17-21, 21-17, 21-18 to mark her first win over a top 10 opponent in more than 4 years. She will next meet Zhang Yiman of China for a place in the last 4. Earlier, women's pair Pearly Tan and Tina staged a remarkable comeback in the rubber game to edge Thailand's Rawinda Prajong Jai, Jongkol Fan, Kitty Tarakul and reach the semi-finals. The Malaysian 6 seeds clawed their way back from 18-15 to carve out a 15-21, 21-14, 21-19 victory over their rivals. Pearly Tina will face another Thailand's pair, Benyapa Imsard Nuntakar Imsard in Saturday's last 4. National professional mixed doubles pair Goh Soon Huat Siobhan Lai also advanced to the semi-finals on Friday after defeating Indonesia's Renov Rivaldi Pita Haningtyas Mentari 21-10, 21-18. In a compelling tale of legacy and determination, father-son weightlifting duo Hidayat Hamidon and Eri strive to honour Malaysia on the world stage. From Hidayat's gold-winning past to Eri's promising future, their journey reveals not just the highs of athletic triumph, but also the struggles they face outside the gym. FMT's Jason Desmond reports.
Father-son weightlifting duo Hidayat Hamidon and Eri Hidayat share a singular goal: to make Malaysia proud again. 25 years ago, Hidayat stood tall on the winner's podium at the 1998 Commonwealth Games, wearing the gold medal he won for Malaysia. Born in Medan, Indonesia, Hidayat moved to Malaysia during his early teens. He quickly gained recognition in weightlifting, distinguishing himself at the SEA Games, World Championships, and the 1994 Commonwealth Games in Victoria, Canada. But his career took off when he joined the Jaya 98 project to prepare for the 1998 Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur. Competing in the 69-kilogram clean and jerk category, he lifted 167 kilograms to secure gold for the country, memorably yelling "Ayah," which means father, just moments before the winning lift.
Yalah, saya ke Malaysia pun karena ayah saya, bela nasib kita orang keluarga. Ayah saya cakap hanya Dayat aja yang boleh teruskan ayah punya semangat untuk angkat berat. Semoga Dayat teruskan angkat berat yang ayah cintai ini supaya Dayat boleh ke mana-mana dunia. Jadi bila saya di kapal terbang, saya training di luar negara, saya ingat ayah saya.
In recent years, his son Eri has carried on those aspirations, although a bout of dengue fever just before last year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham complicated preparations.
10 tahun training, dia impian kan. Saya time tu jaga makan, jaga rehat, jaga tidur. Habis saya punya study semua saya postpone sebab nak fokus Commonwealth. And then I warded 1 week at Hospital Lampung, Indonesia. MSN Medical, which is ISN, suruh saya tarik diri lah.
Despite this, both father and son were adamant that Eri would compete in Birmingham.
Saya cakap dengan MSN, ini anak saya. Apapun ceritanya, Harry mesti pergi juga ke Commonwealth Game.
Eri came home with a silver and is now eyeing gold at the 2026 Commonwealth Games. As for Hidayat, life post-retirement has presented its own set of challenges. Appointed a national coach for Malaysia's Paralympian weightlifters and supplementing his income as an e-hailing driver, Hidayat would see his coaching role terminated and his driving income dwindle during the COVID-19 pandemic. To add to his troubles, he also developed a heart condition. Despite the setbacks, Hidayat is still passionate about coaching and is actively searching for Eri's successor.
Dan saya memang ada tabungan di dalam account bank, tapi sampai bila saya mau ambil sudah habis. Tapi sekarang ni saya kena kerja kuatlah sikit. Sebab hari ini udah mau dekat-dekat lah ini. So sekarang ni saya akan mencari anak siapa ni yang boleh dijadikan atlet angkat berat, atlet mana. Saya rasa, saya di sini, tetap sama. Darah saya pun tetap darah Malaysia. Bila negara berkumandang, kita macam mendapat satu kepuasan dan kebanggaan. Sayalah rakyat Malaysia yang dapat mengharumkan nama negara.
He may not have been one at birth, but Hidayat Hamidon is a Malaysian through and through. Jason Desmond, FMT for Nightline.
Still to come on Nightline, 3 in a family killed in MPV lorry collision. Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria expressed disappointment at not being able to stop at several planned locations in Sabah and Sarawak during the Kembara Kenali Borneo tour. Comptroller of the Istana Negara Royal Household, Major General Datuk Zahari Muhammad Arifin, said the King and Queen as well as their entourage did not have the opportunity to stop at the locations due to unavoidable factors and it was not intentional. In a statement from Istana Negara on Friday, Zahari said in Sabah, the convoy could not make a stopover at Menara Kayangan Lahad Datu, scheduled for September 4th, and Tagal Sungai Moroli in Ranau the next day. In Sarawak, he pointed out that the scheduled stopover at the Yulung Sian NC Temple in Cebu on September 11th and Bandar Sri Aman Mosque, as well as Fort Alice in Sri Aman the next day, had to be cancelled. He added that due to time constraints, the King and Queen had to rush to dinner receptions that involved the presence of hundreds or thousands of attendees on those days. Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tunku Azizah also expressed their appreciation to the thousands of people who turned up to greet, shake hands and take pictures with them at the locations. Zahari also said that if the situation permits, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong intends to visit the people in those locations in the future. The inaugural Kembara Kenali Borneo tour, which received an exceptional reception from the people of both states, involved a 2,154-kilometre journey along the Pan-Borneo Highway connecting Sabah, Sarawak and Brunei from September 3rd to 13th. In Terengganu, a family of 3, including a baby, died after a multi-purpose vehicle MPV they were travelling in crashed with a lorry in Kemaman on Friday. The incident occurred at 2:05 p.m. on Jalan Jerangau Jabor near Bandar Cenih Baru. Kemaman Police Chief Superintendent Hanian Ramlan said the deceased were identified as 38-year-old Amir Hussein Muhammad, who died at the scene, as well as his 2 children, Amzar Hus Zair and Amzar Hus Nayan, aged 4 and 12 months respectively, who succumbed to their injuries at the Kemaman Hospital. Initial investigations revealed the lorry went out of control and collided with the MPV when the vehicle was heading to Cenih from Kuala Terengganu. Amir's wife, 38-year-old Nur Hafiza Sazwa Harun, and their 8-year-old daughter Amzar Husnia remain in critical condition at the same hospital. Police have detained the lorry driver and the accident is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Just like Malaysia Day that saw Malaya, North Borneo, Sarawak and Singapore unite into a single state, music too can create a common ground for people from all walks of life. The Malaysian hip-hop scene in particular is known for its diversity, portrayed especially in the languages used in songs. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look at Malaysian hip-hop over the years by Fly FM's Ryan Matrai featuring Sonawan. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and happy Malaysia Day.